Briggs is an environmental and rights activist, and he joins us via Zoom from Port Harcourt University. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, we also expect to have Farouk Aliu, a former minority leader of the House of Representatives and a stalwart of the All Progressives Congress, APC. Is he with us now? Okay, he was making efforts to join us. But let's start with Ankyo Briggs right away. This reported sale of gold by Zamfara state government to the central government through one of its key institutions, the CBN, is generating a lot of attention to the extent that the governors from the South-South geopolitical zone are meeting today. We just saw the footages we played a while ago, the Deputy Senate President and the governor of Delta State raising concern, as did so many other Nigerians over that. What are your opening statements as far as that issue is concerned?
My opening statement would be the reaction of everyone that I know, including myself, in the Niger Delta region, the oil-producing states of both southwest of Ondo and Imo of Imo and Abia states. It's about time as well. You see, we have been saying this for a very long time, that the 1999 Constitution is against the Niger Delta people because they access the full access to the oil and gas, the way that it has been accessed and allocated to individuals that are not from the Niger Delta region, and also that makes people to lay claims openly that the Bayelsa oil belongs to Zamfara state. We have heard those type of statements before. And now today we have a situation where Zamfara state is mining its gold and is selling the gold. It has been mining the gold illegally because it is supposed to belong to Nigeria and not to Zamfara state. And so we find ourselves in this situation. So I hope that we will be able to back the governors of the Niger Delta states, back the governors along with the people of the Niger Delta, to say that if Zamfara can mine its gold and not have it gazetted and brought as a contribution from Zamfara state of 100% to the table, and then Zamfara state takes only 13%, if we're not going to do that, then definitely we call for a moratorium on the exploration of oil and gas right now. And until these issues of injustice is sorted, Zamfara cannot mine its gold and keep the proceeds and then expect Niger Delta to continue to feed Zamfara state. That is no longer going to be acceptable, as it is as the governors are going to hopefully come up with such positions. That's what we expect the governors to come up with.
Yes, I said earlier they consider it strong enough to elicit a meeting. What do you expect from the outcome from that meeting? What kind of disposition do you want them to come up with?
I think I have already, by discussing since it was clear, as a matter of fact, since Zamfara governor took the first samples of about 12 bars to the president, the Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement have made a statement on that anyway. And so we do expect the governors of the Niger Delta region, and they do know the position of the people of the Niger Delta anyway, that we do want to have access. We've been saying this anyhow over 20 years. We've been calling for resource ownership, control, and management. Now that it is clear that Zamfara is controlling and managing its resources, there can be no excuse whatsoever, either on the side of our governors of the Niger Delta or on the side of federal government to turn the other, to turn a blind eye or even encourage Zamfara state, if you like, because he has taken the gold to the president. So the president cannot claim that he's not aware. He's very much aware that Zamfara state is mining its gold, and according to the news that came out, selling it to to CBN. Now, whether CBN is denying it or not is no longer the issue. We expect the governors of the Niger Delta State to come up with nothing less than we must control our resources, or the oil companies and the federal government cannot and should not have access to the oil and gas in the Niger Delta region.
Okay, let's welcome our second discussant, Farouk Aliyu, a former member of the House of Representatives. Thank you so much for joining us. And now, where is the place of resource control, fiscal federalism, in all this against the backdrop of the transaction in Zamfara State? How do you see it all?
Good morning, Nigeria. Good morning, everyone. Well, I think it's completely misunderstood. And I want to believe probably the governor of Zamfara State either misunderstood the Constitution or he just went for a photo op with the president. Because what he did was illegal, unconstitutional, because no state in this country as of today can claim ownership of any mineral resources until such a time when the Constitution is amended. So to me, the hue and cry about resource control, it's legitimate, but then you need to change the Constitution of this country. As it is as at today, no state, as I said, no state can claim ownership. If the governor of Zamfara, who probably is ignorant of the Constitution, decided to do what he did, and that's brought about the generated issue in the country about states should control their resources. The Constitution has exactly said how resources should be controlled in the country. But look, as I said, I have no problem with allowing the states to control their resources, but then you need to amend the Constitution. As of today, I have said it previously, that the oil in Bayelsa belongs to Borno, the oils in Bayelsa belong to Jigawa, the gold in Zamfara belongs to Bayelsa. So that's how it is as of today. So please,
what do you mean by that? Maybe you want to explain for that. What do you mean by that?
Okay, what I mean by that, whatever it's found in any state of this country belongs to all the states. Simple, as of today. No state can claim ownership of any resources found in the state. No, it belongs to us all. Until such a time when we do this so-called restructuring, resource control, allowing the states to do that. But that should be, the Constitution should be amended. So if the Constitution is amended, then if it is agreed, all we, the Nigerian people, agree to allow the states to share to take care of their resources, so be it. But as of today, all this talking about controlling your resources will just be on the pages of newspapers, on television sets, but actual control of the states, the resources cannot be done by the states as of today.
Okay, now, the Minerals Act of 2007 as amended, and of course the Constitution says, and you have indeed re-emphasized it here, all mineral resources are owned by the federal government, but the states of the federation, according to the Land Use Act in the Constitution, owns the land. So we see a situation where the states and the communities own the land, but the federal government owns the resources beneath the land. We have tried over the years to indeed operate our country, our constitution, and mining of these resources based on these premises. But it has not stopped agitations for resource control and fiscal federalism. You have said just a while ago that if that is the way to go, we need to amend our constitution. Do you think that is the proper thing to do in a federation such as ours?
You see, unfortunately, our constitution, speaks from both sides of its cheek, sadly. So this is, we as a people need to look at it and try to see how the states, like the states, the federating units, don't control the land. Maybe all lands that are, all resources resources are found in should also belong to federal government. Probably that can bring about solution to this kind of thing. But as of today, there are conflicting signals in the Constitution, which needs to be amended. But then going forward, I think calling for restructuring of this country, it is high time we start looking at it. But then what is restructuring? What exactly those people calling for restructuring are talking about? Is it the resource control? Is it delineation of what? And why I said, if we need to do this, let us stop talking, like this, you and I, or I and my colleague that is talking, on this program. Let our leaders, let our elected members, let the pressure groups from various parts of the country ensure that this time around, when the National Assembly decides to amend the Constitution, let us bring about this restructuring. Let us know exactly what does it mean, what does it entail, so that there will not be problem. If we need to restructure the country, let us do it around the table. Let's sit and agree. What do we do? Do Bayelsa want to control their oil, all of it? Do Zamfara want to control their gold, all of it? Let's agree as a nation. Let's not start talking, screaming, at each other, talk just for talking's sake, going about things that simply are not possible, because we cannot just be talking on television or in radio to think that this thing can come about. For us to get it done correctly, members of National Assembly should kickstart, and all the people that are agitating for this thought control should please tell their members from today, don't talk about anything in the constitutional amendment until you talk about the structure of this country, so that we can just get done and over with this once and for all.
Okay, Ankyo Briggs, maybe you want to take it up from where he stopped.
Yes. First of all, may I tell the viewers and also Aliyu there that my name is Ankyo Briggs. I am of the Jaw ethnic nationality. I am from Rivers State in the Niger Delta region. So, having established those boundaries of who I am, you see, when we have discussions like this, and what is coming across is that there are some people, as if we are faceless people, that are calling for resource control, as if resource control is just a new concept, or that we're calling for restructuring of Nigeria, federalism, as if these are new things. And when we are referred back to the to the National Assembly, it's as if the presentation is being made with the concept that the people whom they are referring to, i.e., we that are calling for restructuring of Nigeria, are unable to understand what we are asking for. Now, when you say go to the National Assembly, can we please establish the fact that there is nothing today that my representatives at the National Assembly will want on my behalf at the National Assembly that will ever take place if the North, as it is constituted at the National Assembly into 19 states, get together, including the Middle Belt, which is part of the 19 states, if they all say no to what we want, even if all the 17 states of the South say yes, we will still not get it. So this referencing go to the National Assembly is like a slap, a backhand in our face, knowing fully well that that the North, the representatives in the North will not allow anything that we want to be changed in the Constitution through the National Assembly. We are under a National Assembly that has said, the president right now has said that there is nothing that they will not, that there is nothing the president or this government will bring to them that they will turn down. So meaning that anything that comes from our side, they will turn it down. Let's be truthful to ourselves. The fact that there have been injustice in Nigeria, injustice against the producers of the oil and gas in Nigeria, that is the Niger Delta state and the other 3 states, that there's been such an injustice against us. We must restructure. The only way we can change this injustice is to restructure Nigeria. Now, if we agreed and when we agreed to restructure, then what Ali is talking about is going to come to play, because it is at that discussion that we will find out what we mean.
He agreed. He agreed. Ali agreed that there's need for restructuring, but he's insisting that it must be done through the National Assembly. But you're expressing some concerns about the National Assembly. Is it that the National Assembly, as presently constituted, cannot sincerely and genuinely see to the amendment of the Constitution, especially with restructuring and devolution of powers?
Well, I believe that I have expressed that, because if we recall that when the present president of the National Assembly, when he was sworn in, he said, one of the first things he said is that they will do, the National Assembly will do, meaning it will pass everything that comes from the president, and meaning this government, which is an APC government. Now, if he says that, it therefore means that whatever comes that is against the desires of the president or the North, that it will not pass. That is the understanding that we have. And now this understanding, this narrative can only change when we are told that that is not the case. And how can we be told that is not the case? First of all, I have explained that 17 and 19 we can never, as a region of 17, the south of 17 states, and the north of 19 states, we 17 can never get what we want. If we go to the greenhouse, we can never get the House of Representatives. We can never.
So what then is the alternative? What then is the alternative?
Can I respond to my sister?
Let me answer.
I'll come to you, Aliu. Go ahead, thank your bricks.
And the alternative is to still accept that we will restructure this country. Now, we cannot restructure without going to the National Assembly. But going to the National Assembly with such a disadvantage is literally just foolish. It's like just playing by the rule. No, we have to accept. The government has to accept that this has to be done. Then the National Assembly will know that it has to be done. And then we will do what they will do, whatever it will take, no matter what that is, at the National Assembly level, for us to have a restructured Nigeria. But just at this moment, at this level, we won't get it. And so referring us to the National Assembly is insulting almost.
Okay. Let me bring in Ali here. I was reading Olani Bekwe, senior advocate of Nigeria, this morning. He was saying, I don't know whether you read his interview. He said the National Assembly, as far as this issue of restructuring is concerned, should adopt what he called a doctrine of necessity, where the people would determine what should be amended. In fact, he said is a new constitution, not even an amendment. The people should evolve a new constitution, and the National Assembly giving it the legal backing by way of passing it through. That's a proposition for him, so perhaps similar to what Ankyo Briggs is advocating here.
Well, by way of introduction, my sister Ankyo Briggs, my name is Farouk Adamu Aliu, a Fulani man, a herder, former member House of Reps, former member House Committee on Niger Delta, NDDC committee, and let me speak let me speak about three things. One.
No, you left out one thing. She said she's from River State. What's your own state?
Okay, yes, I'm from the remotest part of this country, a state called Jigawa.
Okay.
You know, that's where I come from. Now listen, what I said. Now, the members, the Senate president who said that they will do whatever the government wanted. Maybe you didn't understand him. Certainly, he meant what he said was that there will be unity between the National Assembly and the executive. And so many things have happened in the National Assembly to show you that the National Assembly can, of course, reject whatever they feel the president brings and they don't want. So let's not go there. Now, unfortunately for my sister, unless if you want us to go to war, you still have to go back to National Assembly. And we don't want to go to war. We are people we are one country as at today. And for us to do this amendment, when a lawyer spoke about doctrine of necessity, look, the Fulani man that is talking to you now, Farouk Adamu Aliyu from Jigawa State, I, a northerner, a Fulani man, a Muslim, went to court in this country and got judgment against late President Erdogan to enable former President Jonathan Goodluck to act as president of this country. So you see, when we're talking about Nigeria, let's not talk about reason or where we come from. When we talk about Nigeria, we're talking about Nigeria. The poorest man in Jigawa is the same with the poorest man in Bayelsa or in Rivers State. But the elites, I and Ankyo Briggs, are the elites of this country, are the elites from Niger Delta and northern part of the country. Probably connivance of the elite to continue to hoodwink the people of this country. Let me tell you, when I was a member of NDDC committee, we went on inspection in the town called Odi. I remember very, very, very well. There was a road contract of 8 kilometers from the main road into Odi town. As at that time, 2004, a contract was awarded to a former senator from Niger Delta. He spent the money, took the money, didn't do the contract. We've seen what is happening in NDDC committee now. You see how the amount of money of Niger Delta is being taken away by people of Niger Delta. But look, we don't want to say Niger Delta. Let's say Nigeria, while some of our brothers from the other part of the country will connive with our brothers across the country to dupe the people of Niger Delta. So it is about the elites. It's not about the resource. It's not about how to control it, but who controls it and who does the right thing. In this country, we have what you call the derivation. We have the NDDC. We have the Ministry of Niger Delta. So the government is trying as much as possible to bring into force the underdevelopment of Niger Delta, just like there is underdevelopment in the northeastern part of this country.
So you said you went to court over, is it the previous doctrine of necessity that threw up Goodluck Jonathan?
Yes.
And
yes.
Perhaps you were successful in that legal pursuit?
Of course, I was successful. I went to court. I got the judgment against the government of the day, to enable President Jonathan Goodluck act as president of this country.
Okay.
Just because of unity amongst us.
So
I and Ankyo Briggs, I'm coming.
Yes.
I have agreed to also resource control. I also agree to the structure of this country. I also agree to all these other things. And honestly, I'm also speaking on behalf of a lot of Northerners that look, even if we want to divide this country, even if we want to divide Nigeria into 10 countries, let us agree. I went to school in a country called Yugoslavia, former Yugoslavia. That's where I went to school. They fought war. Now they have about 8 countries. We as a people fought a war in this country. Let us not do anything that will bring us to fight war. But if we agree as a nation, and I have agreed now, I said, I'm speaking on behalf of a lot of Northerners.
So you believe that could be done? You believe that could be done via some form of doctrine of necessity that will bring the people and the National Assembly together in that process?
No, you see, when you talk about this doctrine of necessity, you still have to go back to the National Assembly.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because exactly. So I want us to agree now that we have a constitution that we are operating now. And that's what is called lobby. So let's not speak about if Ankyo Briggs can remember very well. Gali Naaba, former speaker, as a northerner, remember the onshore offshore dichotomy bill that was passed. Remember the NDDC Act itself was passed under Gali Naaba, who is a northerner, a Muslim, a Fulani man. So please let us not talk about this kind of thing.
Okay.
Let us talk about Nigeria as of today. And let's not talk about where we come from. And look, I honestly, I have agreed with Ankyo Briggs. Let Bayelsa take their oil. let Zamfara take their
Okay. We have a form of consensus now.
In a constitutional manner.
Yes, we have some form of consensus.
Yes, we do.
We'll go on a break. When we come back, we'll talk more on the modalities. Please do stay with us.
Did you know that AIT's social media handles have all changed? If you are one of the millions of our followers on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, this is introducing to you AIT's new official and rebranded social media handles. Like or follow us now on our Facebook page, Official AIT Live. If you're on Twitter, switch to our new handle at Official AIT Live and activate the notification button to get breaking news and updates on the go. For exclusive short videos and photo news, follow our Instagram account at Official AIT Live. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Official AIT Live, and enjoy live streaming of news and your favorite programs, where you can also watch our broadcast materials at your own convenience. Note that Official AIT Live is the only authentic social media profile name with all the handles on our website ait.live, with a notification prompt to accept and receive breaking news and updates on the go. Log on to Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube platforms on your smartphone, tablet device, laptop, and desktop to follow us now. AIT.live. On air, online, online.
Thank you so much for staying with us. We are taking a look at the controversy thrown up by the reported sale of gold bars by Zamfara state government to the Central Bank of Nigeria and the consequent renewed call for resource control and fiscal federalism. Governors of the South-South scheduled to meet this Monday to deliberate on that. We are still expecting the outcome, but right here on the program today, Focus Nigeria, we are deepening discussions on it to reflect the various perspectives and to chart the way forward for Nigeria. With me are two eminent Nigerians, Adamu Farouk Aliyu, a former minority leader in the House of Representatives, who's joined by Ankyo Briggs. Ankyo Briggs is an environmental and rights activist, and also the convener Niger Delta Self-Determination Movement. Thank you so much for staying with us, Ankyo Briggs and Farouk Ali. We have a consensus that there is need for restructuring. There is need for... Okay, Ankyo Briggs can hear us. Our technical hands should quickly indeed unmute or work on the audio connection so that she can really get to hear us or straight from the studio. Okay, she can hear us now. Yes, beautiful. Now, I was saying we have a consensus on the need for restructuring with possible provision for control of resources by component states. We have a consensus on the need. She can't hear us again. Ankyo Briggs can't hear us again. We'll quickly update her. She needs to follow the line of discussions for her to really indeed make her contribution, because she's the next to come up. Can you hear us now? Oh, she can still hear us. Okay, while we are working on that audio connection, maybe we'll have to exit her, then try to bring her back so that the audio connection. But let me come to Farouk Aliyu. From our consensus, they say from the known, we'll move over to the unknown. Yes, what are the areas that you believe we still need to trash out to widen the consensus that we already have? Because initially now, the Arewa Consultative Forum had been against restructuring, but a later U-turn saying we want it, but the modalities now. Should we resort to the 2014 National Conference? Should we use the APC committee report, the El-Rufai committee as basis, or should we put everything on the table as suggested by the Northern Elders Forum, NEF? What's the way forward for this?
I think the best way.
Can I answer? I can't hear.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Okay, she can't
Okay,
hear
good.
us. Okay. Go ahead. We are working
But
on
I can hear you. So
restoring it. Yeah.
let me continue. Yeah. You see, yes. What I'm saying is, I think as maybe the regional pressure groups should put up a proposal. I mean, let them first of all agree among themselves that we're not fighting.
I think they have done that. Many of them have positions.
No, I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm coming.
Okay.
I'm coming. What I'm saying is, let the regional organizations probably meet on their own. Now, as people, as one country, let's all agree that, look, this is what we want. This is what you guys want. Then please impress on your members. Let your members go with this position. Let us agree that, look, just like the fears IQ was raising about 19 and, inequality of state. Now, there's what is called lobbying. As I said, we are a people. We are one country as of today. So let us lobby. Let's agree that, look, we as a people need to listen to what the Nigerians are talking about. Yes, this resource control that people of Nigeria are talking about all the time. As a people, as a country, we need to look at it. What the Zamfara governor came about talking about, we also need to look at it. Let us agree amicably, I said, so that there will not be fight. Let's agree. Because when we start pointing fingers, I look the north, the south, Muslim, Christian, that is divisive, that is elitist, that is just going about to bring about trouble. But if I and Ankyo Briggs, and I want you to send her my telephone number and give me her telephone number also, so that I and her can probably be the link to start about bringing about restructuring in this country. Let her from today accept me as her brother, and I've taken Ankyo Briggs as my sister. Let us unite. Let us unite ourselves as one people. Agree that, look, how do we go about it without killing ourselves? How do we go about without calling me a Fulani man, or a hard man, or a Boko Haram, or a Muslim, or whatever? Let me also not look at them as Niger Delta militants, or crude oil thieves, and so on. Let us see ourselves as one people and agree that, look, how do we go about talking, over these issues? Because they are a reality. Yes, the people of Nigeria are agitating for so long. So we need to look at it. What are they talking about? What should be done amicably? Now, also people of the North are agitating about security, about other issues. How do we come about it to do it amicably? Now, if the members of our National Assembly are not doing what we want, then we come again and put pressure on them. As a people, the people from Jigawa should team up with people of Rivers to impress on our members of National Assembly that, look, we as a people of this country from Jigawa have accepted the demand of people from Bayelsa or from Rivers or from Delta that we need you as our members from Jigawa. Please look at what the members from Niger Delta are bringing, to the table, so that we can have peace, so that we can have unity. And as I said, if we continue talking about North, South, Muslim, Christian, that is divisive, that is elitist, that will not lead us anywhere.
Okay.
It will just be, going to, playing to gallery.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Some Nigerians believe that perhaps the 1963 constitution that allowed component states to indeed exploit and control their minerals and pay royalty and taxes to the federal government should be the way to go, not vice versa, where the federal government is allowed to control mineral resources. Should that be the way to go?
I totally agree with that as well. But you see, sadly, you still have to come back to the National Assembly. We are operating a constitution. So no matter how you and I talk about this thing, no matter how wanting to play to the gallery, we still have to do it in an amicable manner. We don't have to go through like the NSAS kind of thing, coming out to demonstrate. The demonstration end up in killing, maiming, destroying properties. That's not the way to go about it. So that's what I'm talking about. When this NSAS happened, see the destruction of lives and property. A country that would watch by policemen be lynched on the street. all in the name of demonstration, all in the name of agitation. Somebody will be sending messages via WhatsApp, via video, calling on policemen to be lynched and so on. So as a people, we don't need to go that way.
Now,
so let us talk amongst ourselves.
Now, you said through the National Assembly, Ankyo Briggs earlier expressed doubts about the sincerity of the National Assembly in seeing this through. And if you take a look, some of those that also shared that opinion said the previous efforts to devolve powers was frustrated by the National Assembly, especially from northern representatives. These are the fears that perhaps it will still be deja vu.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's why I said that this thing should be done through lobby. Okay. In the same National Assembly under Galin Abba, we got this NDDC Act passed into law. You remember they vetoed the former President Obasanjo's
the first and only time since 1999. Yeah.
Well, there is always a first time, my brother. There is always a first time. So it has happened under a northerner. I hate to say that, but under a Muslim, a northerner, that time it has happened. So why don't we look at it also that it could still be done under Femi Bajabi Amira and Ahmed Lawal?
Okay.
And also we have the Deputy Senate President who is from Niger Delta. So why can't we give them the opportunity? And I told you that I want Ankyo from today to see me as her brother, to see me as somebody who has fought for the Niger Delta, in this country. And honestly, she can find out from my former colleagues whom we worked together. I was a champion of fight for the rights of Niger Delta.
Okay.
And the members of Niger Delta are also not helping matters. So let us be our brother's keeper. Let's make sure that any injustice done in Niger Delta is seen as injustice done to Nigerian people. Any injustice done for the people of Kano State.
Okay,
let's see
if we have our back now. Let's see if we have Ankyo Briggs back. Do we have our back now? Okay. Yes. Now we'll bring you in. You've heard our conversation so far. Maybe you tail it off from there.
No, I did not.
Okay.
But I would, if you can give me a briefing, and then I will start from where I stopped.
No, what basically Ali is advocating is that we must go back to the National Assembly, but lobby extensively for everybody to be on the same page in terms of restructuring. Perhaps he implies what was lacking in the past when the devolution of powers, attempt to devolve powers in the last constitutional amendment, was that intense lobby of those that opposed it. He says, we must lobby the National Assembly to see it through.
And I also said, I want you to see me as our brother from today.
Okay.
I want you to send me Ankyo Briggs' phone number. Let I and her, be the seed of unity in this country. Let I, a Fulani man, she from Rivers State, I from Gawa, let us try to form a union that will bring about change in this country. To see ourselves as our brother's keeper. All the injustice done in Niger Delta, we should see it as injustice done to Nigeria.
Okay, you can go ahead now.
Okay, first of all, it's rather unfortunate that I lost clearly about 15 minutes of this conversation. But let me make one point very clear. Let us avoid redirecting the narrative at any one given time. What has happened here is a redirection of the narrative. We started this conversation with the fact that the South-South governors are holding a meeting on the very straightforward issue of Zamfara, selling its gold as if it belongs to Zamfara. So that was how we started this conversation. Now, let me also make one thing very clear, that we in the Niger Delta, including the rest of the two geopolitical zones of the South, are disadvantaged at this so-called National Assembly. So to continue from that point, we need to have a referendum. If we are truly saying that we will restructure this country, if it is agreed that we should restructure this country, because of the imbalance at the National Assembly, that we are at a disadvantage, let us have a referendum of the states that make up the National Assembly. That way, every state will have an opportunity to have its representation made. That is one aspect of it. The other aspect of it is that when we say that we should not, that some people should always talk only about Nigeria and not about who we are, I think that is misleading and it is not acceptable to me, because I am a Nigerian based on the fact that I am an Ijaw. I am from Rivers State, which is in Nigeria, that I am Ijaw, which is of one of the Nigerian ethnic nationalities. So to say, you see, this is the problem. When we say that there are certain things we cannot say if we are truly Nigerians, it makes some people to feel as if they are better Nigerians or that they are more interested in Nigeria than we are. No, we are equal Nigerians, no matter the claim to number, no matter the claim to landmass, we are equal Nigerians. So if we're equal Nigerians, we must be treated equally. If we're not treated equally, it is not acceptable. Now, on the issue of bringing in the NDDC, that he was one time chairman of the NDDC.
No, a member of the committee.
Okay, sorry, member of the committee. I thought he said chairman. Thank you. Now, that does not make him a lover or a protector of Niger Delta people and Niger Delta issues, as far as I'm concerned. The fact that he took Yaradua to court, that Jonathan should become the acting president, is a political issue. It is not a favor to the Niger Delta. It is a constitutional issue, that when the president is incapacitated, the vice president should be there. So, you know, these things are not favors, and we're not going to thank him for doing his job. Now, coming back to the issue of the discussing how Nigeria should go.
Yes, there's a proposal that came from a senior advocate of Nigeria, Olani Beku, trying to find a middle point between a new constitution and the role of the people and the National Assembly. What he said yesterday, as reported this morning, is that the people should decide on a new constitution, possibly approve it via referendum, and the National Assembly will ratify. And it comes into place.
I totally agree. I totally agree with that, because let me tell you why. As far back as 1999, going into the 2000, when we had Pronaco, I was one of the delegates to the Pronaco movement under the late Sir Anthony Enahoro from the South. And so we had done a level of work there. Now, at the 2014 National Conference, I was also a delegate. And I was, when we discussed all of these things, at the end of the day, what we came away with was that if we truly go with the report of the 2014 National Conference, we will actually end up with a new constitution. We are complaining, the majority are complaining that the 1999 constitution is not a people's constitution. If it's not a people's constitution that was brought in at the tail end of handing over from military to civilian government, 20 years is now enough for us to have stabilized from military to civilian government, for us, the people, to sit down and develop and own a brand new constitution. But let us not hear that we will still have to go to the National Assembly for this constitution, because other countries recently in South America have already gone through a process where the people's demand for a new constitution has been approved.
Now, what Farouk Aliyu is saying is that we can still allow this thing go through the National Assembly, if only the southern part of the country or delegate members from there would lobby rightly their northern counterparts so that they get a common ground. Do you think that lobbying, that intense lobbying will be good enough, strong enough to see the National Assembly pushing through these changes?
See, when you lobby for something, you are lobbying with the assumption almost that you will get what you're lobbying for. So that, that when the lobbying is going to be lopsided, and I'm not against lobbying. Let us lobby. But the point I'm trying to make here, on behalf of the South and on behalf of the Niger Delta people.
Okay, I have to cut you here. I'm very sorry. Pretty much we are ending this program 4 minutes behind ahead of schedule because of a live telecast coming right from there in Port Harcourt. A live broadcast, of course, the third annual, not from Port Harcourt though, but not starting yet, third annual Nigerian Criminal Law Review Conference. A live broadcast of third annual Nigerian Criminal Law Review Conference going on now. So I have to thank you so much, Mike.